Seven of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers falling down the rankings so far this week. The first guy is Luis Castillo at the Cincinnati Reds, and this guy, it's been a train wreck of a season for him. He's ranked 1115 on the year, 42 in the third inning, 1-6 record so far, 61 hits given up, 35 earned runs, 7 homers, 15 walks, 40 strikeouts, a 7.44 ERA, and a 1.80 whip with one quality start. So those numbers are bottom of the barrel. And Castillo, he was a hot commodity in the major league trade market this offseason, but they wanted a haul for him, including with the Yankees. They wanted Gleyber Torres for Castillo. But right here, this guy, he got drafted in fantasy leagues. I've seen from third to the fourth round, and he's been a total nightmare. In the last couple weeks, the numbers don't get any better. 12 2/3. 0-3 record in the time, 15 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 7 walks, 16 strikeouts, a 10.66 ERA, and a 2.21 whip. So right here, it's been a total disaster here for Castillo. And the only bright side for him over the last couple months here since the season started is his strikeouts have been pretty decent still for a guy who gets bombed a lot of late. But right here, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe Cincinnati, he wants out, and he's just going out there and throwing anything. Because last season, him and Trevor Bauer were up there competing for the Cy Young on that Cincinnati Red team. And they were two studs in fantasy baseball. But this year, I don't know what happened to Castillo. Maybe the league caught up to him, or his stuff just isn't there right now. So May 8th at Cleveland, 4 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, a 9 ERA, 1.75 whip. May 13th at Colorado, 3 2/3, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 19.64 ERA, and a 3.27 whip. And then his latest outing versus San Francisco, it wasn't that bad as these other two. 5 innings, got the loss, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, giving up 3 walks, but the 11 strikeouts, which was a big number, and maybe telling fantasy owners this guy could turn it around. And a 5.40 ERA and a 1.80 whip. So his next start is tomorrow versus the Milwaukee Brewers. And right here, maybe he could build off things versus San Francisco. But it's been an abysmal season here for Castillo. And he's a pitcher definitely falling down the rankings this week. The second pitcher is Dylan Bundy of the Los Angeles Angels. So Bundy last season had a great year with the Angels. But this season, it's more the same old Dylan Bundy as what we saw with the Baltimore Orioles over the last few seasons. So this season for Bundy, 43 in the third, 0-5 record, 43 hits given up, 29 earned runs, 7 homers, 12 walks, 46 strikeouts, a 6.02 ERA, and a 1.27 whip with 5 quality starts. And his season rank is 1,074. And over the last couple of weeks, the numbers, they just keep getting worse as well. 7 in the third inning, 2 losses in the time, 13 hits, 13 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 15.95 ERA, and a 2.18 whip. So Bundy, he's been getting hit like a piñata over the last few games here. And he's a guy that at least early in the season, he was going 6 or 7 innings and becoming a tough luck loser. But the last 2 or 3 outings, he's been getting hit hard and not lasting deep into ball games. So May 2nd in Seattle, 6 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a 3 ERA, a 1 whip, and a quality start. May 8th versus the Dodgers, 3 1/3, got the loss, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, 3 Ks, 16.20 ERA, and a 1.80 whip. In his latest outing at Boston, May 15th, 4 innings, got the loss, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 15.75 ERA, and a 2.50 whip. So Bundy, a lot of fantasy owners, they've dropped him this week. It's 7% of droppage rate. And his next outing's tomorrow versus Oakland. And if he can't get the job done versus Oakland and gets bombed once again, in my opinion, he's an easy drop after this. And he's a pitcher definitely falling down the rankings this week. The next guy's Mike Foltynewicz of the Texas Rangers. So Folty, he got off to a good start with his new ball club early in the season, but right now he's been getting hit hard on the season. He's ranked 1,104, 48 2/3, 1-4 record, 56 hits, 28 earned runs, 11 homers given up, 13 walks, 40 Ks, a 5.18 ERA, and a 1.42 whip with 3 quality starts and a home run ball. It's always been an issue here for Folty. And Folty, he was an all-star a few seasons ago with the Atlanta Braves, but the last couple of years here, he just can't get anything going. And teams, they've been hitting him hard. And now the last couple of weeks, the numbers don't get any better. 8 2/3 for him in 2 starts, 15 hits, giving up 8 earned runs. No homers, surprisingly. 4 walks, 4 Ks, but an 8.31 ERA and a 2.19 whip. So Folty, he was going deeper into games early in the season. And the last couple outings, he just can't get past the 5th inning. May 7th versus Seattle, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up a walk, 5 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.05 whip. May 13th at Houston, 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, 2.20 whip, and then his latest outing versus the Yankees, 3 2/3, got the loss, 7 hits, 5 earned, a walk, strikeout, 12.27 ERA, 2.18 whip. So his next outing as well is tomorrow versus the Houston Astros. And right now, he shouldn't be owned in fantasy leagues, and a lot of owners have dropped him. And his percentage owned is only 4% now. So owners, they've had enough. And they know he's definitely struggling. And he's a player falling down the rankings here. The next pitcher is Steven Matz of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Matz, he got off to a roaring 4-0 start with his new team in Toronto. But now we're seeing more of the same with Matz over the last few weeks here, like we did with the New York Mets. So maybe he was beginner's luck here with his new team. And on the season, he's ranked 829, 48 innings pitched, 5-2 record, 51 hits given up, 25 earned runs, 7 homers, 15 walks, 50 strikeouts, a 4.69 ERA, and a 1.38 whip with only 3 quality starts on the season. And the last couple weeks here for Matz, he's 2-2 with 22 earned runs, 6 homers, giving up 9 walks, 32 Ks, a 6.67 ERA, and a 1.72 whip with no quality starts in the time. So Matz, he hasn't had a quality start under his belt since April 17th, and it's been a struggle for him now here with this Toronto team. And I said for weeks to sell him high in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and hopefully some people listened and did that, because I knew the other shoe would drop for Matz and he would be struggling here with this Toronto team. And now he has, and he's in a tough division with a lot of good hitting teams. The Yankees, Boston, Tampa Bay, and even Baltimore is a decent hitting club in my opinion. So the last few outings, May 8th at Houston, 5 innings, got the win, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, giving up 4 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.60 whip. May 14th versus Philly, 5 innings, 4 hits, no decision, 3 walks, 9 Ks, no runs in that one, a 1.40 whip. And then versus Boston, May 20th, 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned, homer, giving up 2 walks, 4 Ks, a 7.5 ERA, and a 2 whip. And his next outing's May 25th at the Yankees. So right here, Matz, his ownage was up to like 70 or 80% at one time. But now he's only owned in 49% of fantasy leagues. And that number is definitely going down as the more starts he gets under his belt and the more games he just don't pitch that well. So right here, I think Matz, he's a player falling down the rankings. And he could also be a droppable player within the next week or two. And the 5th and final pitcher falling down the rankings is Tyler Anderson of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he was a recommended ad for a couple weeks was Anderson, but now he just can't get anything going, and he's been getting hit hard in the last 2 or 3 outings here for this Pittsburgh team. So Anderson, I recommended him as an ad, and now he's definitely going to be a drop in the upcoming week here, and he's been dropped already in 10% of fantasy leagues. So on the season, he's ranked 913, 51 1/3, 3-4 record, 47 hits, 27 earned runs, 8 homers given up, 16 walks, 51 Ks, 4.73 ERA, and a 1.23 whip with 3 quality starts. But the last couple outings and weeks here for him, 18 innings, 1-1 record, 15 earned runs, 5 homers, 5 walks, 20 Ks, a 7.5 ERA in the time, a 1.39 whip, and only 1 quality start. So right here, Anderson, he's getting hit hard, and the home run ball's been a problem for him with 5 home runs given up in the last 2 starts. The only thing on his side here is he's still striking out a lot of batters, as Anderson, with 20 strikeouts in his last 3 games. So the last few outings for him. May 9th at Chicago, 8 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a 2.25 ERA, 0.63 whip in a quality start. May 15th versus San Francisco, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 2 walks, 7 Ks, a 7.20 ERA, and a 1.60 whip. And then May 21st at Atlanta, 5 innings yesterday, got the loss, and he got crushed, 10 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 homers given up, 2 walks, 7 Ks, a 16.20 ERA, and a 2.40 whip. So right here, it's been a total struggle for Anderson the last 2 outings, and he's being dropped as I speak right now in many fantasy leagues. So he's struggling, he's getting hit hard, and he's falling down the rankings. So that's a few pitches falling down the rankings here in Week 7 of the fantasy baseball season.